What is up, Hi LBC? Happy Friday. Thank you so much for being here. We are in October. This is our 10th Hi LBC every single month. Before we get into it, I want to say thank you to John. Thank you to the Cannabis Capitol family. We couldn't have done this without you. Thank you to the LBCA, the board, Adam. Thank you to Pam. And we're going to get right into it. Tonight we're talking marketing. I've been wanting to do this panel for a very long time, so I'm excited. So I hope you guys are just excited. And I'm going to let the panelists introduce themselves, starting with Ali.
Hey guys, I'm Allie. Allie Noel. I been in cannabis for about 3 years now. I started off working in marketing at Cookies as a social media specialist, aka slave, and I moved over to Khalifa Kush as a marketing director just a month ago. So it's going pretty well.
How you guys doing? I'm Jay. I'm from Cannabiotix. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Highatus and Cannabiotix. I've been with the company now going on 3 years since we launched. The boys, we all grew up together. We're all from Santa Monica, so it's just working with the family.
John Bayles, owner of Infused Digital and Cannabis Capitol.
This Fantasy Factory. Give it up for John. Give a round of applause.
Thank you all, by the way.
He also sacrificed watching his son's football game, so I just want to say thank you for
And he
coming.
threw a touchdown pass, too. Damn it.
Huh? He threw a touchdown pass. Give him another round of applause.
All good, all good.
So as we get into it, I want to just ask an open panel question. You guys can chime in whenever, but I want it to be an open dialogue between us four. So what are some of the challenges you're facing right now when it comes to marketing cannabis? So let's start from the basic. What is marketing cannabis?
Retention.
Retention.
And not everything's going to present an ROI. That's what I got to say with marketing cannabis. You can't always look for the dollar signs. You got to be present and doing that without going broke. But I feel like relationships is a really big part of that. Yep. So and just realizing everyone can eat, and you got several mouths to feed, and you can feed them all. So.
Give it up for that. Jay, what do you got?
You know, I think it's really like just staying relevant, you know. The weed speaks for itself, at least for us. You know, everybody picks it up once and they're coming back every time. So it's kind of different when we have the quality that we do and be able to do that. But, you know, for us, it's just staying relevant, staying in people's mouths, reaching new people. You know, I think that's the most important. Sometimes not even ROI, because it's not about them going and buying the product. It's them walking into the store later on and remembering, you know, what you told them, or that actual product, you know, the cream for us. And that's kind of what we want, you know, them to talk about it, walk in and actually go, oh yeah, I remember that. So,
You need a product behind the brand. Absolutely. John, what do you think?
Well, I think content for sure. We have a content background here. Storytelling, community building, going out and being a part of the community, showing your face. Yeah, I think that's...
Content is king.
Content. Storytelling, education. It's big.
I would just say, like, really make it tangible and receivable. So it's like you can put out great videos about nugs and stuff like that, but if you're talking to someone or putting a face on it, and whether it's a Budtender or all the way to the shop owner, or it's someone on the marketing team, or even if it's just the person in the mailroom, depending on what kind of company you work for, it's just putting a face with it and just realizing that it is very community driven, which I've seen. I've been able to move better once you realize that, versus just kind of separating yourself and treating it as traditional retail, I would say.
Great insight. So what are some of the challenges you're facing right now if it's not as easy as traditional retail? John? Go ahead.
Algorithms, being shut down, all that stuff. Where to post, where to distribute the content is the hardest part, right? Mm-hmm. But you got to find ways around it.
Have any of you got a social media platform taken away from you?
Every week.
25.
Every week. 25.
Yeah, I saw all my accounts go down. I was so depressed. Very depressed. It was like in a wave. Like it started at one of my accounts was at 25,000, and then I basically saw like 250 thousand followers just decrease and within a month. And as a social media manager, right, that's your job. So you're like, I need these accounts back up. And then you get 200, 300, and you're like, when's the next opening? Is Burner coming? So it's like, I would say like social media, it just can't be your end all be all in marketing with cannabis, because if you make that your end all be all, you're not going to go anywhere. It's going to be a stopgap for you and a bottleneck, and you got to branch out. And cannabis is such a community, and I don't want to like harp on that, but like really just talking to each other, and like if they could put a face to it, whether you're brand ambassadors or whatever, like, and you go into a shop and they're like, yo, that's KK, that team is so dope, versus that one brand you're like, they're so rude and stingy, oh my god, like, it's very relationship based, and that's also how you spread the word. It's just each mouth to each mouth.
Word of mouth is the best form of marketing. Jay, what do you think? As you're opening that joint, I apologize. John, do you want anything to add on the joint? There you go.
I think for us, the biggest challenge is just lack of platform. Like you were saying, we've been putting out these new videos and new kind of things, but it's hard to actually make them spread like traditional. TikTok is so huge right now, and there's no way. Like you can't even have a joint kind of look like a joint without getting shut down. So trying to stay relevant when everybody's attention is on those one things.
So the question I have is what is your strategy when it comes to investing time or effort into these platforms that we don't own? But you have to be there because everyone's there. It's the water.
I mean, this is a big reason why we built this, is to build community and have a place to come out and show face and educate and get in front of people. I think people got away from websites, which is completely wrong. Everybody should focus on their own domain. They own that. Nobody can take it or delete it. I need to practice what we preach and do it better. But yeah, social media, they come and go. We've been doing this 12 years, so it's, I'm waiting for TVs to be vertical now, because in every show to be 15 seconds,
Just for everyone in the audience, can we as cannabis marketers use traditional marketing tools? Meaning, let's take it basic, Google ads, Facebook ads, MailChimp for newsletters, or TikTok.
MailChimp for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Clavico.
Email marketing and even mailers are actually like traditional marketing, because at the end of the day, it's retail, right? So you need to get your stuff in front of people, and you need to do it legally without having compliance issues. But a lot of people sleep on mailers, but if no one knows that your dispensary is there or your brand is around, I mean, people look at their mail, they take it for granted. Do you know how much money goes into email marketing and how much money goes into mailers? I worked at an agency years ago, and those people who send you those AAA things with the gift card in them, I'm just to let you know it goes through a whole process, okay? Like, there are teams for people who sit there and do that, and they pay hundreds and thousands, probably maybe $2 million a year, and that's just AAA, right? On mailers. That's just one average, avenue of their marketing. So I would say, yeah, Google ads are great, but we necessarily can't really run those all the time. And I would say, email marketing is great. Get those leads, generate those, have your brand ambassadors just really leverage the swag for a sign up. Get it. Follows great, but if your account goes down, where does that go? But you can never get rid of their email. They have to opt out of that. So, and then having your opt-in language specific. If you don't have the money for SMS right now, have that language in there so that way you don't have to send somebody an additional thing to opt into your SMS. So you have SMS and email. Let me shut up. All right, so.
No, thank you. That's why we brought you up here. Jay, your brands have multiple products between each other. Do you have different approaches to marketing each product or each category?
No, because it's the aesthetic, right? It's the brand recognition. So that's really what we're pushing. Be able to spot any one of our products, sativa, Life's resin cart to applesauce, everything across the way. Something about it reminds you of us. So.
Just because we've had conversations before, you've been there from the inception. What was some of your ideas behind the branding, behind the marketing, behind your image? You're a brand manager, so what was that like?
The beauty is that our founder, our grower, Nima, he's this is his baby. So even before he came over here, he had already thought about it. There was references that he pulls up and he can, talk about stories of how he got the green and how it makes you feel, and like that's how deep he dove into it. So for me, it was already a baby that was given to me that needed a little bottle feeding. So that was the blessing for me, is having a founder that cares so much about it. He's in the meeting with me every morning. He's at the grow till all hours of the day. He's in there. He's deep diving. His fingernails are dirty. So it's a blessing to have something like that.
Thank you for sharing. John, you've built Solon TV, Vape Capital, and Cannabis Capital. What are some of the challenges you've had to make while navigating these 3 different industries coming into cannabis?
Well, just so you know, Infused Digital was the real engine behind it all this entire time. We had to build platforms with these niche industries that we kind of organically became part of, and in order to build a distribution outlet, to give our clients or different people or that platform to be able to distribute the content, because the platforms aren't always there to do so, or they delete you and all that good stuff. But what was the question?
You're navigating different industries. What are some challenges you've had to make, or what are some of the hurdles, or what are some of the solutions you came up with?
I mean, I feel like they're all the same in a lot of ways, just different applications. Trying to figure out, I think, just be changing as things change, right? And staying up on all that stuff. I mean, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, man, way different than now,
Yeah.
And so every month, every 3 months is changing. So you just got to keep up with that.
Okay.
I still didn't answer the question, did I?
No, you're good. No, you're good. It's the same. And your whole approach is building community. That's what you've been doing. So for the entire panel, for brands wanting to break into the industry, what is a necessary budget to allocate to marketing, and what should that budget be spent on? We're talking about brand new companies coming in.
Like,
And let's be realistic.
you have
to
you're
make an
not-
impact.
You're by yourself.
Let's say you have a group of 4 people. It's open.
I think that people put marketing in the wrong order a lot of times. Obviously you need hard cost, packaging, product, a lease on a building if that's the route you're going or whatnot. But I just don't. I feel like if you don't have the money to put into marketing, don't even start. Don't try. I mean, literally, because if you're not in front of everyone's face and doing the right thing and community building and marketing, you have no chance. That and branding, obviously passion, I mean, that it all adds up, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that answer. I would say, because I went from working with a brand that has so much money, and then I moved over to 2 smaller brands before I came to KK, and it's just a difference showing up at festivals, and you're just like, yeah, we're cookies, and then I'm like, on this other brand, and we just have a booth and a tent, and I'm setting this booth up myself. What is this? I mean, people don't even want to walk up to you. I'm telling you, they look at this brand, I mean, like, what's the difference between you, Stizzy, and like, you're gonna go to the one that is like going to be memorable to your face. I had a smoke machine and a speaker and some churros, and I was like, come holla at it. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? And some titties. Like, we didn't have anything. Like, exactly. I'm serious. If you don't have the money to put into marketing, then you better have a pretty girl and somebody who could do Hello Titty with a smile, okay? Like,
it's the honesty. It's the honesty for me.
It's what you can do. It's very, I mean, I made it happen. I got some orders, okay? So, but yeah, it's, no, you don't do it if you don't have the money.
All that is true, but with that said, I feel like, you still got to start from somewhere, right? I mean, you never know. But I will say, working on the agency side of things for so long and working with hundreds of brands and building hundreds of brands over the years, everybody just expects some wildfire virality we sprinkle onto it. Yeah. It's just not magic. You got to get out there and, again, be a part of it and put your all into it. A lot of times that's money, but again, business is business. It's a big boy thing to run a business. It's hard. I want to be an employee most of the time. It sucks. I want to go get a job, work for KK.
Jay?
It's kind of crazy because we don't really spend a lot of money on marketing. For us, it's kind of the people that we have building, the campaigns that we're doing. It's super organic.
You got people on your side, though. That's marketing.
Yeah, that's a cost.
I think the people are our customers, and that's who we have on our side, is that they trust our product so much that they're talking to everybody about it. So it's really just us. For me, we don't spend much, but it's like it goes to who and what matters, back to the customers and making sure that they're still remembering what that product is when they walk away. You can't, Khalifa and all these big brands and stuff, they got the culture. So that's just being the him or being them. So we are culture. I smoke weed every day. I used to sell it back days before, everybody, we were trapping, so we feel it. So it's easy for me to connect with everybody because everybody did the same thing. And that don't cost much, but just actually being about it. A lot of these big brands and big banks, they're coming and dropping a bunch of bread, and I have meetings with them. They own a bunch of places, but they have no idea
You're right.
what the culture is. They don't even smoke weed.
With that said, I've seen a lot of brands come in and fail with a lot of money, even celebrity brands. That's why for us, my secret is, build it from the inside out, inner community core group, and get them to approve, and I think the rest will follow for sure.
It's time is what it is, because you say you don't spend a lot on marketing, but you give your time. You talk to people. That's just the same amount of currency. My time is expensive. Like for me to sit down and have a conversation with you, it's really free. I'm very nice. I pay it forward. I really believe in paying it forward. But it's precious. Your time is precious. If someone's willing to fellowship with you or have a conversation, don't take that for granted. That's how I met Steven. That's how I met a lot of the people in this room. And it's like just by having a conversation and getting onto newer brands and smiling while you do it or looking super faded. But as long as you're grounded, that's just as expensive, because you have bigger brands that don't want to do that. They want to be in and out and thinking you should work with us because we got money. That's not how it works here. You're seeing that slowly unfold all in front of us. So yeah.
Jay, I want to kick it over to you. You guys are in 600 stores. As a brand manager, how do you successfully tend to the needs of your retail partners?
It's my reps. We're super tight. I talk to them every day. We're all on text, and so it's really like, hey, I just left this shop or that shop. We just talked about X, Y, and Z. And, that's it. That's kind of like the handoff, and we kind of take it from there.
How many reps do you manage?
There's only, sales rep-wise, what I'm saying is there's only about 3 sales reps that we have that cover all of California, all those accounts.
Wow.
And as far as BAs, we're adding some, but we're probably at about 4 or 5. So, again, we operate on a super different kind of tight ship.
Sounds like they're order takers, not sales reps.
I think that they can sell weed because they smoke it and they enjoy it, and so it's them. It's easy to sell.
That 600 stores, the orders are coming in.
But orders ain't coming in if they're not spending the time and actually nurturing those things. I think it's a lot bigger than that. Our weed it's cool and all, but if the rep doesn't, sit and take the time to be cool with that buyer, it's never going to go anywhere. They don't care how good it is.
Awesome. For the panel again, what was the most interesting trend in the cannabis industry for 2022? And what do you think the market trend is going to be for 2023 through 2025? No, it's a big question. I'm sorry.
15-second vertical videos.
Yep.
Real fast that you can't even, no attention. Just double tap real quick. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep scrolling.
Tap and keep going.
Yeah. No, it's the pan of the shop with the influencer and then them looking at the merch and they're like, yeah, it's dope. Let's get the weed. I'm like, this is okay. That's what I felt like I saw.
I wish there was a new platform we could all jump on, to be honest, but I don't have a big announcement.
Sizzlet, the cannabis one? Have you guys heard of Sizzlet? It's like the cannabis Instagram.
I've tried a few of them. There's
Pretty
Buddy
close.
Jane. There's a bunch of ones.
They
and
try. I mean,
they
why
do-
don't we
yeah.
all just pick one and be like, okay, this is our winner? Because
There's just so many things wrong with each one. You're just like, why invest the time? It goes back to that
True.
that energy. So you have no forecasts. Even when it comes to strains, for me, I know Super Cherry Gelato is crazy. Lemon Gelato was crazy. Gelato 41. All of those that are. But you guys are staple for your flowers. But has anyone else seen any trends?
For us, everybody loved the lemonades. We stayed away from them. California's #1 strain was our cereal milk, and we don't see that going anywhere. So
Yeah. Do you remember a specific experience where you wish that a brand you were working with did something differently? And if you were able to do it again or do it over, would you? How would you? Like failed campaigns, I'm talking about. Failed events.
It's a loaded question.
I have so many stories, but I feel like it's like personal stuff. You know what I mean? I'm like
for me, I think all of them.
All of them?
I try to grow and learn every time we do something with anybody. So every time, if it wasn't better than the last, then I feel like we got to redo it.
I got it. It's consistency. I think people don't stick to the plan long enough. They pull out, they get anxious. Again, they expect the instant virality and they don't stick it through. It's hard when you're not making money and you're losing, but consistency with anything, content, storytelling, especially, right? But 3 months is not long enough.
3 months. What's a proper
You got to
campaign?
put in at least 12 to 24 months for sure. You got to be about it every single day for 12 to 24 months.
All I gotta say is if finance is running your marketing department, it's time to leave. Okay? That's all I gotta say. It's they're gonna want an ROI on everything, and it just doesn't work that way. It's yes and do that, not let's just do this. It's yes and do this too. And it's like you kind of gotta. I'm not saying like you gotta spitball it and throw it and see what sticks. It's like you gotta be real consistent because your customer's looking for that consistency. So if you just have like, let's say event-wise, you have one event at your dispensary or your brand, because I've worked on both sides, and you just do one or you do a takeover. That's the trend I'm seeing. Takeovers, oh my God. Can we all say that like there's a difference between a takeover and an elevated PAD, okay? Just
I would
like
agree.
please don't call it, I'm just tired of seeing the word takeover. Because I'm like, I think it takes over, like Jeter takes over. So yeah, that was the biggest trend. But I would just say like, just really, just if you're gonna stick to a plan, just exactly that. Just because I would do 2 events and they'd be like, that's it, we didn't see any money. I bring 500 people to a dispensary.
Got to give it time to pan out.
Yeah, you got to give
For people to believe in it and they see it long enough, they're gonna, by the time they come around, if you're gone, you wasted all that time. Anybody can make one video, do one PAD, do one event, but you got to stay consistent. And if you don't have the means, that's going back to what we were talking about. If you don't have the means to do that, that's when I say don't try. Honestly, it sounds bad, but.
So we're talking about ROI. For people who might not know, what is the difference between brand experience, brand exposure, and brand loyalty? Jay, you can speak on those.
I don't think that there's any difference, I think that the brand experience is our flower, and everything kind of takes after that.
So then, do you think there is brand loyalty? I believe that there's probably 5% of the market that is loyal to brands.
I think because there's so many choices, just in everything in life. Again, going back to social media, which all of us are on and addicted to 24 hours a day. It's just choices on choices on choices. Plus being where we live as well. But when you throw in a million brands, it's hard to. Everybody wants to try something new.
Would you say there's a formula for success in cannabis when it comes to marketing?
Like I said, consistency is all I got on that one.
I think it just depends because it depends on the brand, like working with KK and then working with Cookies, but then I also work with Dr. Green Thumbs, Burb, and Insane. There's just a difference, and also not that many people know about Insane on the consumer front, so just dealing with that. I would say you can't put them all under one umbrella because they're just two different types of brands, and also how they entered the market. Like KK's been around for a long time, and so has Cookies. So, and then you have CBX. It's just you can't compare. So it's like, but I would say like the best strategy is consistency.
So you've worked with multiple brands that have like in cannabis space A-list celebrities.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah,
man, you got it easy,
I was
girl.
gonna say.
I know, I do know that. Okay, it was very strategic.
On your part, yes.
No, I went poor one time, never again. Okay, we can't. Company credit cards, real nice. Okay, no, I'm kidding. But what was your question?
What are some of the pros and cons, if there are any?
Working for a celebrity brand?
Yes.
I would say the pros are for sure, like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Can you bring me my cat? Let's bring me my cat. Bring me the 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 cat. Sorry. Bring me the cat. Bring me the cat. Someone walk the cat.
She can bring her pet to work.
It's my emotional support animal. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Yes, hi Caspian. Okay, come here. So, all right. Before, I was just a bitch wearing a Care Bear dress, right? Now I'm the bitch wearing a Care Bear dress with a cat in her hands. What are you gonna remember, right? That's what a celebrity does for your brand, right? So it can only enhance it, right? It can only enhance it, but you don't wanna make it something that's so tangible all the time. Like working for Cookies was great, but we had to figure out how to move when Burner wasn't there. How did I have a store opening that still delivered 45K on an opening day when Burner's not here? It's hard. It's very hard because that brand has so much loyalty and so much community around it, and it's just a family and a culture that if you didn't have Burner, you felt like your opening was trash. But then Burner coming to your opening and then no one showing up, you had to figure out how to navigate in those waters. So you don't want to oversaturate your celebrity either. So one thing I like about KK is that they're very strategic about where they place their flower, what shops they sell to, and what appearances he makes. Like when I saw the numbers break down, I'm like, no one's getting an appearance from him. Shit, we gotta buy how much? I'm like, who's ever gonna see Wiz? You know, but it's like, it's like working for a celebrity brand, it's cool and everyone knows the brand to a degree, but also what comes with that is other issues, especially with rappers. You have beef, you can't do this type of event. With Cookies, I would get people who want to do so much stuff, and I was, being on the dispensary side and not the brand side. So I worked for, for CRE, right? They own about 20 cookie stores. We couldn't do a lot of stuff because beef that Burner had with somebody or because of someone had a beef with Cookies, right? So it presents issues, and I'm not saying anything that's gonna mess up my NDA because we didn't sign one. But that's a real thing to think about when you work for a celebrity brand, because also you don't wanna walk in somewhere and people are just like, oh, that's the brand you're with. Like, you wanna walk in and feeling great. So it's like, working for those brands comes with good things and bad things sometimes, and you're wrapped into a beef that you don't even know. You're like, I don't even know you. But that's how it is. But it's also cool because you go somewhere and people know the brand. So, and then like also if the brand aligns with celebrity, you don't want a brand that just like, you see celebrities, everyone has their own cannabis brand. You don't want, like, you're just like, who, you selling edibles, you selling wellness, but you don't do nothing wellness. Like, it's like KK aligns with Wiz because that is his brand. Same with Burner. So especially if you're looking to work for a celebrity brand, I would think about those things. Think about how many shops they're in. Think about what your check's going to look like and if it's going to be signed on time. I think about those things.
Damn. You have anything you guys want to add? Okay.
Oh, sorry. I don't mean to steamroll.
So what is, for the entire panel, please, what has helped you get to the position you are currently in, and what is some advice you have for others who want to go off in a similar direction? Jay.
I think it's just go out and do it. You got to do it. Nobody's going to do it for you. Bills don't pay themselves. So you got to get out there and do what you like, and it's a blessing if you can do that every day.
What did you do before CBX?
I was in fashion. So I ran a bunch of celebrity fashion brands for a long time, launched a bunch of stuff, and did that for a while.
Would you say you found success with similar tactics of marketing fashion in cannabis?
I mean, it's all culture related, right? You know, hip hop and the brands that I was aligned with, like those were all culture. It was all family, and we all felt kind of what it is, you know, just like weed, just like everything it translates. So it's kind of just lifestyle.
So
And the good thing about cannabis, what I like is if you're a solution finder or someone who just solves problems and who's a team player, it doesn't matter where you started from Budtender to, you know, if you just took out the trash or whatever, people are open to have a conversation with you. There's no ego. There are some people with ego, but you can get past that. I started off as a specialist, moved up to director in 2 years. Like, I worked my ass off, and I worked 16-hour days, and they were like, why are you working? Why are you doing this? Marketing, I'm gonna tell you this, there's whatever journey you're on or whatever path is for you, and that's in any industry, and people will clear the way without you even knowing it. That will happen for you. And don't listen to what people say, especially in cannabis. It's all new, and there's so many opportunities and positions. It doesn't matter where you came from. If you can do this job better than the person who can do the job who went to school for it, it doesn't matter as long as you can make it happen. And I would just say, don't look at it traditionally, especially in the workforce terms of things, of like, I gotta get here to move there. I saw director and I was like, I'm doing director and we're about to make it happen. And I was like, and just corner it, solve every problem. Don't tell me what my layout looks like 6 months from now or the things you need me to do. I'm gonna do it in 2 weeks and be like, where's my money? You know, so it's like you can make it happen. And if you're that, I find cannabis so fascinating and I love the community, and which is why I'm willing to put those hours in and talk to people and just do the work. And you have people that will believe in you, and it pays off in the long run. So if you guys wanna start in cannabis, start off with social media, because everybody wants you to do it. It's such a high turnover. Anybody can get a job. Do it.
John.
No, that was well said. Well said. I need 10 of you. Don't work with me. Yeah, I mean, just having passion and hard work, you can't teach those two things. I mean, you know, as many people as I worked with over the years, education and school and where they were before and all that stuff didn't really matter as much, or what they knew, I guess I should say, their skill level didn't matter as much as, you know, their work ethic and their passion for me. And that's what got me here. You know what I mean? Just wanting to work for myself and create an opportunity for others and a platform, and that's about it.
Well, thank you for sharing your platform. I'm going to open it up to 3 questions only, just 3, if anyone would like. If not, I want to say a huge thank you to my panelists. You guys have been awesome. I appreciate you coming. I'm so thankful for all of you coming to the last High LBC. From the bottom of my heart, it's been dope, 2022. But anyone, 3 questions. Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Jay, for those joints, man.
I know.
No, you're good. I got 5 toes. We're good.
How you guys doing? My name is Richard Lewis. I'm a singer, so you guys can call me Rich. I am basically a part of a partnership for a hip hop collective, and I've only been in the cannabis industry for like 2 years, but it's totally unrelated to marketing. If I wanted to bring in my brand or my mailing list to introduce these upcoming brands, hey, we can put together a party, we can display your brand, share it to our people. How can I solidify a relationship like that? What's the first step into actually presenting it?
Email me.
Exactly what you just did. Exactly what you just did in talking to people, because it's so hard to market cannabis. So you're trying to, like, especially like dispensaries, right? And especially if you're working with the MSO, it was like, if I opened a store in Oklahoma, I'm like, I need people in Oklahoma in this market to come to the store. I don't need you to know about cookies. They're like, give this shirt to a DJ. And I'm like, cool, he's wearing a Cookies shirt, but that's just Cookies. I need you to go to Cookies OKC. I need you to go to Cookies San Bernardino. So it's like if you have a list of people, right? Leads are expensive. So I will say dispensaries are always looking for that. I would be someone who would give you money like, okay, well, what kind of event? How many people come to your event? Like doing more novel things in your market versus mass things like sponsoring a 2 Chainz white party. I've done that too, but that's not something I'm looking for an ROI on versus I would get it at something that you would throw. Like in your small community events that are in my market where it's actually the people who are shopping around my store, they would be versus like far out.
Right, using your ecosystem you have already and plugging that brand into that, you got a head start.
Thank you. Here you go.
Hello. I just wanted to know, I'm an old school smoker. So you guys have different brands like Cookies, and as the name changes, how do you guys know when to go with the fad or when to stay with what you got? Because I'm still looking for some good White Widow, and it's like it doesn't exist anymore.
I don't think enough brands bring those old school strains back, to be honest. I want to start one with just only that old school stuff. I agree. Where's it at?
I know.
Last one.
Went to make a new brand like Gorilla Glue. It's been through so many transitions, it's gross now. But when I first did it, it used to make me go to sleep. Now it sucks. You know what I mean?
That's sad to hear, to be honest.
I'm smoking the wrong glue. You gotta try Glutopia.
There you go. All right, I got a question. So let's say if you're a cannabis brand, right? You have $10,000 to spend a month on marketing spend. Like, how do you allocate that 10K?
Email me. John at infuseddigital.com.
I'll give you something for free.
Let's go. I'll pay you in weed. I got some really good hydro.
I would say, I mean, it just really depends on like how many shops you're in and like, kind of what your bandwidth is. So it's kind of like a longer form question, but if you have 10K a month to spend, that's a hefty number and that's really nice. So it's like, one, I would just really I would focus in on something. Like I would focus in on the market that you're selling the most in, or it depends. So like, just answer these questions. How many stores are you in?
Well, I have like a couple of different brands that I sell for.
Okay.
So I have Hydrotic, and we're like in like 40 stores.
Okay.
I also have I work with Stone Road, and we were like in like 120 stores. So we have good marketing budget, but sometimes we're spending them on like billboards for.
Well, yeah, no, I'm asking them like, are you allocating them towards brand ambassadors? Because you know that like, depending on how you guys allocate it, this is such a broader question. But I would say really just, you don't have to spend too much, but you really want to, I would throw that into your Budtenders. Not as much of it, but I would really start to work on those relationships and really take care of them. Don't buy them Little Caesars pizza. That is rude. I mean, I have given people El Pollo Loco churros, but that is the budget I had, okay? And, but taking care of them, because those are the people, one, if they're in those stores, those are the people who are gonna really move it for you, and really get that word of mouth stuff to going. And then I would start there. That would be like my first home base, is making sure those Budtenders are taken care of. Don't be cheap. Don't just give them one pre-roll, 1/8. Everybody, they get that. They get so many samples every day. Make it different for them. And that conversation in the head of the brands, or even just the reps being in there, I could see that from the Budtenders. Like, they loved that. So, and I would just start. That's the cheapest place to start.
Awesome. Starting with John, where can people find you and where can people get a hold of you?
John at infuseddigital.com.
Is there anything else you
Right
want to
here,
add?
Cannabis Capitol. We do this a couple times a week on average, 8 times a month, all kinds of different programming. We're all community-driven, intercore community. So Budtenders, store owners, managers, buyers, influencers, all of them. They're all invited. So come check it out.
Jay?
You guys can email me at jv@cannabiotix.com. And yeah.
Ali?
Hi. You can. You guys can just find me on social at Oh That's Allie, or you can email me at Allie@Khalifa Kush. But I don't know why you would do that. But I mean, yeah, no, I mean, like, I really just believe in like sharing the knowledge. So if you guys want to hit me up and have questions, especially about how to start like your brand ambassador programs, got some things for you because I had to learn it. So okay, but yeah, at Oh That's Allie.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you. Round of applause for everyone. Thank you for my panelists. I appreciate all of you. I love you all. That's been 2022 High LBC. I'll see you in the new year.